Ever wonder what happens when a superhero movie doesn't quite stick the landing? Um, we've all been hooked by trailers promising spectacular action and compelling stories, only to leave the theater feeling underwhelmed. Sometimes the biggest heroes can't save a film from crashing and burning. And let's dive into some of the most disappointing superhero movies of all time. Films that had all the potential in the world, but somehow missed the mark. It's not always about bad special effects or weak acting. Um, and sometimes a movie is burdened by studio interference, a muddled plot, or simply an inability to capture the spirit of the source material. And these films remind us that a great concept doesn't automatically translate into a great movie. So grab your popcorn and let's explore the superhero movies that left fans wanting more. First up is um, this this film aimed to expand Sony's Spider-Man universe with a dark, vampire-infused anti-hero. Uh, what audiences got was a movie that quickly became an internet meme. Jared Leto's performance felt strangely lifeless. The tone was all over the place, and the CGI lacked impact. Um, the plot was generic, the dialogue awkward, and the post-credits scenes teased crossovers that never materialized. It was a fascinating premise, wasted, and the film's re-release only confirmed its status as a flop. It was truly Morgan time, but not in a good way. Um, then there's 2011, starring Ryan Reynolds, right? Also, before becoming Deadpool, uh, Reynolds donned the green suit. But the film became a prime example of a superhero misfire, that it would be despite a $200 million budget, weak writing, inconsistent tone, and over reliance on CGI doomed it from the start. The Green Lantern Corps should have been a cosmic spectacle, but audiences got a cartoonish blur of effects and forgettable villains. Even Reynolds himself later mocked the film in May. It aimed to launch a DC universe, but became a cautionary tale about visuals overshadowing vision. Next, we have Josh Tranks, 2015. This is 114. We have Mir. This reboot intended to reinvent Marvel's first family with gritty realism, but it ended up as one of the genre's biggest disasters. Production troubles, studio interference, and creative clashes resulted in a movie that felt unfinished. The incredibly talented cast had no chemistry, and the story abandoned superhero adventure for a bleak pseudoscience experiment. It was a lifeless origin story that alienated viewers and embarrassed Marvel's enduring team. And Sony's 2024 had the potential to explore the female side of the Spider-Man universe, but it delivered confusion, clunky dialogue, and unintentional comedy Dakota Johnson starred as Cassandra Webb, but the script never knew what to do with her. Awkward exposition, wooden performances, and dated editing turned it into a punchline. It manufactured an origin story that didn't exist in the comics, and wasted multiple Spider Women, and it proved not every Marvel character needs a cinematic spotlight. 2009 should have been a gritty, emotional dive into Logan's backstory. After Jackman's performance in the trilogy, expectations were high. Instead, it became a chaotic mess. Hugh Jackman gave his all, but the jumbled plot, overstuffed cast, and terrible CGI made it hard to take seriously. The infamous muting of Deadpool's mouth remains a baffling choice. Insight that it was a brutal exploration of trauma, stripped of its claws. If you're notice, 2004 wasn't just disappointing, it became a cinematic punchline, starring Halle Berry as a completely new character, unrelated to Selena Kyle. It ignored decades of comic lore in favor of a bizarre fashion magazine aesthetic. The result was a messy mix of camp, bad CGI, and nonsensical plot lines. Berry's commitment couldn't save the script. So often that the female of doing a person, the people doing it is, it's frequently voted one of the worst superhero movies ever. But and 2006 had the potential to be a thrilling finale, but it crumbled under its own ambitions. With a change in directors, the film juggled too many storylines and characters, losing emotional focus. The adaptation of the Dark Phoenix saga was rushed and underdeveloped. Key characters were killed off unceremoniously, and the emotional weight built across two films was vaporized. It left audiences mourning not just Jean Grey, but the potential of what could have been. Normally 2014 had a killer cast, but it collapsed under its own ambitions. Sony packed the film with villains and sequel teases, desperately trying to launch a cinematic universe instead of focusing on a coherent story. Peter and Gwen's romance was the only genuinely emotional thread, but it was stretched too far. It was a tragic conclusion hampered by a bloated narrative. 2016 had everything going for it: a killer concept, a stacked cast, and DC's most chaotic anti-heroes. But it turned into a tone-deaf, studio-tampered mess. The rushed editing, awkward needle drops, and muddled plot made it feel like a music video. Despite standout performances, the story lacked cohesion or real stakes. It proved that edgy fun needs a solid foundation. 2016 had the potential to be the greatest superhero clash ever, but it crumbled under its own ambition. Zack Snyder's visually stunning but tonally heavy film tried to combine too much at once. The film felt joyless, and the infamous Save Martha moment became instant meme material. It failed to deliver emotional clarity or coherent storytelling. So there you have it. A look at some of the superhero films that didn't quite live up to the hype. And it just goes to show that even the most powerful heroes can't always save the day. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.